What does it say? Go live. Yep. About it.
There we go. Now they're going the wrong way. That's okay. We're the ones here. Rock, paper, scissors for cookies.
It should be up now, shouldn't it? All right.
Isn't that where King gets it? Oh, that one's on.
No, we're good now. We're up on all of them. Yep, John, we're live. Yep, thank you, buddy. All right, guys. We can always rely on John, can't we, Faith, to let us know we're good. We are live at Baumhowers. Glad to be here. And I don't know, it's a little bit of a connection issue like we always have here at Baumhowers. Again, YouTube, we're up rolling pretty good, it seems like. So glad that you joined us, and hopefully we're coming through pretty well wherever it is that you're. Yeah. I'm just leave it alone. All right, got it in the studio. That's good. Again, glad you joined us, Faith. We're excited to be here, even though the signal not very good. We've told Tud though. We're coming up. Also, going to have our friend Travis Wisdom from the Wisdom Law Firm, which is literally about 30 yards that way. That's Travis going to come over tonight. Perfect timing, a couple legal things to talk about. So he's going to talk about what we found out with Malcolm Simmons and the application for youthful offender with the judge today. And to our knowledge right now, nothing else has been determined if that has been granted yet or not. So we'll find out some more information, hopefully. Auburn is in scrimmage right now, so trying to see if we can get some updates on that. And nobody was allowed to go to the scrimmage. Was just chatting with Jason Caldwell, and he didn't have anybody there. I mean, it wasn't open to us in the media. So, but we were at practice yesterday, Faith, and so we're going to be talking a lot about that. We did that on the podcast this morning. Very exciting things that we were able to see, and we're about 30 seconds away from going live here on TV, so we'll be ready to go. Come on out to Baumhowers, and a lot of people coming in and out. We got some people out here on the patio, and it's really nice out here today. About 10 seconds away, everybody. Welcome into the Auburn Blitz, everybody, here on this Friday, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and
Cincy Green, for air that's cool and clean, call in Cincy Green.
They are the carrier experts
in the state of Alabama.
In the state of Alabama, and they're proud supporters of Auburn athletics, and we're glad to have them part of what we do here on the Auburn Blitz. Faith, a lot to talk about here on the program today. Some breaking news: Malcolm Simmons, as just maybe an hour or so ago, had his hearing, and his team applied for youthful offender. So, waiting to see what the judge and all determines on that. Going to have our friend Travis Wisdom here, attorney, that's also part of our program, and had been trying to get Travis on for a while, and plan to have him on here, this week, and then the hearing here on this morning with Malcolm, and then some NIL talk. So it's perfect timing to have an attorney on, and glad that Travis is going to make his way over here midway through the program to to kind of give us a little bit more insight on that from a legal standpoint.
It's always better, like you say, to have the professionals do what they're
No
supposed
doubt.
to do. And guess what? Travis is an attorney.
About that.
And so he's a professional and knows all those good things. And so, excited to hear from him. And we haven't seen him in a while. Good to catch up with him.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Travis. I know he's busy. He's busy in the Lake Martin area, on closings and stuff. That's one of the things that, attracted him to us and us to him as far as getting the word out that he is up and running there in the Lake Martin area. So if you need closings or anything real estate wise there, he's available to help you on that kind of stuff. But we are live at Baumhowers here. We appreciate the opportunity to come to our show here at Baumhowers, and we're heading into football season. And we were at practice yesterday, Faith, and we saw a lot of really good things. And again, not perfect, but you're not going to be perfect at this point. Probably not going to be perfect during the season. But I do like what we saw yesterday from an energy standpoint. A couple of days ago, not so much. Coach Freeze talked about it, thought they kind of had a down day and some decent things, but overall he didn't like the feel of practice. There was no way walking out of the complex yesterday you didn't feel like everybody gave 110. Now, we did see one guy that didn't give 110, and he got his butt chewed out pretty bad by Coach Freeze, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. But, again, no toleration, and if you want to know why you might not get on the field, it's because of those things like that. It's not because you don't have the ability, but there's no toleration. There's too many people out there that'll take your spot that will go 110 if you're not willing to do it.
And I think another good point of that is that we have the depth in a lot of areas that if you are slacking, your spot is vulnerable and you will be knocked down like that. And it's just how it is in this competitive league and on the competitive team, because again, we've got the depth. They've got all the guys that are going to be able to take care of that. And so if you're not willing to work, somebody else will.
I think we've been in a position, unfortunately, at Auburn where we've had our start. I'm not saying that they all have done this, but when you know the guy behind you is not going to take your spot and you're really the only, and again, it comes down to self-drive, self-motivation. You should want to go out there and push yourself and challenge yourself, but it's human nature to go, okay, that guy, doesn't matter how bad I screw up, not taking my spot. So you may go out there and you may not be feeling it that day and you might not give 100%. You can't do that with this team, like especially at cornerback. We were talking about Rayon Strader yesterday and how great he looked, and Jason and I were talking and you were talking with several people, and we said, look, if that's your third string guy, my God. And I made a comment. I said, well, if he may not be third string for long, and it's like Jay said, well, he ain't beating Ken Lee or Jake Crawford out. I mean, so what is he going to do? And so it's like true. I mean, but he's playing up to that level with those two guys, and we know how elite both of those guys are.
There's no question about it. I think there's also the aspect of how the weather has been a big factor, and I think a lot of this practice, and that has to deal with the energy levels. But there was no question Monday when I was there was significantly less energy and less enthusiasm than today or yesterday was. Right. And Monday it was raining, and so everybody was inside. But today or yesterday, it was just the coaches were really energetic too.
Oh yeah. Is it ironic that I said to you, and I'll just say it on here, you and I were talking about that league going up to the complex. Mm-hmm. I told you, I said, look, I haven't really felt the intensity, maybe up to the level I was thinking when I was at Auburn, and even with Terry Bowden and Tommy Tuberville, man, I was telling you how intense practices were every day, and Jimbo Fisher being there, and Coach Witt and some of the guys that were on those staffs, man. Good Lord, Rick Trickett, offensive line coach under Terry Bowden. I mean, it was some of them. I hate to say it, was some of the most profane stuff I've ever heard at a practice, and you don't have to cuss to get your point across. I'm just saying there was a level of intensity every day at practice. under those two head coaches that, and I'm not saying that we haven't seen that. We did see it. It's kind of like we walked up and I went, okay, here it is, because we're talking about the defensive line when they were in individuals, man. I don't know that you could get higher energy than that.
Also, part of it is the fact that then the time that you're talking about, you did have to work and earn your spot, because that was just the time it was. Now you can go and you can leave if you're not getting what you want, and you can just, whatever it is, just pick up and leave. And so it's very different now, and incorporating that mentality of everybody isn't just given this opportunity and just has this right in front of them working for it is really important. And I hope that that's what Coach Freeze is reminding them of going into his third year, that this is a blessing to be here.
And he said that.
But you still have to work hard to maintain that. And Cameron King having his walk-on to getting a scholarship, hopefully that's changed the mentality of all of this, I hope.
We said that earlier in the week that, those are special moments. They still exist in college athletics, not as many as we used to see, but that's what college athletics is all about. A kid that comes, doesn't have any scholarship money, but shows up to practice every day and busts their rear end to try to compete and try to earn something. And then they get rewarded with that opportunity. And Kirby Smart said it. You said it earlier in the week at media days. He said, I don't know how much longer we're going to have these opportunities in college athletics with the structure and the roster the way it is. You're just not going to be able to have walk-ons anymore. And it's a sad, dying part of the game that we all love. And I think I kind of went on like a 10-minute deal on the podcast about that's what's made all of us so sick about college football, is that Georgia does have a lot of examples. Auburn has examples of guys that walked on that really rose up and became really good football players at Auburn. And if you take that aspect of it away, then you really have kind of put the nail in the coffin that this isn't really about college or amateurism anymore. It's all about, and we know it's a business, but it's really, that's what you're really focusing on at that point.
There's nothing more disheartening, especially seeing that some people, I don't want to say don't care, but are taking their opportunities for granted, when there are people that really could use the scholarship.
There's no doubt.
There have been good benefits to it, and then there have been the downside that I think has been shown maybe a little bit more than some of the other positive parts. But practice was good. We saw a lot of different groups, and a few of just not too much of the 11 non-11, but
we did get to see like a mini scrimmage, but didn't get today's the real scrimmage. So again, we're going to try to get some information like everybody is for you out there, and kind of what comes out of that. Going to go like 30 plays with the ones, 30 with the twos, and then maybe a 20 to 25 plays with the threes, let them get the reps in.
Yeah, yesterday with the offensive line, we didn't see too much of the actual starting offensive line. There was a lot of
moving.
We talked about on the podcast because of the injuries and what's happened in the past, how there's been a bunch of shifting and moving around on the line. So we saw just a bunch of different people in still their same positioning, but it wasn't them moving around. So I don't know if that was for, maybe an accident or an injury or something like that, if that was what that was for. But there you could definitely see a few of the holes where this isn't the guy there is not the starter.
Right. Oh, and they want to put that. They want to put them in that situation to see, again, do you have a true backup at that position? Like if your guard goes down, Dylan Wade goes down, are you going to put, whoever the number 2 guy is in there instead of having to slide the right guard over to the left guard and then move a tackle over? I mean, you just, instead of sliding people around, you got true depth that you build up. I think DeAndre Carter's a guy that's that's the backup behind Dylan Wade. So, all right, John said, sounds like y'all are at the first day of school activities in the background. Yeah, we're out here on the patio at Baumhowers, and we're glad to be here on location today. And so we like to be here when there's a lot of people, because that's what our business. We want all of our businesses that we're part of to do well, like Faith said. So, hey, we're up against the first break of the show, but don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming up here on the Auburn Blitz right after this. Call them real quick.
John, we did eat some of our food. Brett did eat all of his. Okay. Hey, can you grab a menu real quick? Yeah.
Yeah.
And a box.
Okay.
But I got the chicken tenders. And Brett already ate his burger. But I'll get the menu to show you.
Did you tell everybody we're going to have Jason with us too?
No.
Does he want to see the menu?
Yes, some of the menu items. I told him that you already ate yours and mine.
Yeah, we've already scoffed it down. You're eating early today.
I didn't eat too much today.
No, you didn't. You can't. Well, you're a bird. So I'm around a bunch of birds, everybody, just in case you wondered.
Just not hungry in the mornings.
I don't eat breakfast, but normally by lunch. But you know, our schedule, we'll look up and it's 3:00. We ain't eating anything, so the way it normally goes. Should be coming back from TV here in just a second. Yeah, nobody really knows anything at the scrimmage right now. No, I hadn't heard really anything. So. It's actually up on that one, so I don't know why it's still showing that because I pulled it up. Yeah, so. 30 seconds.
There's this one fly that just
I know he won't stop.
I know.
That guy's relentless. He gives 110%. That's what you want in effort, and he
Yeah.
needs to be on the field. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 45 minutes left in our show today, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation.
And Cincy Green for air that's cool and clean. Call on Cincy Green.
It's not too cool out here, but it's not bad. It feels pretty good.
It feels really good, actually.
Yeah.
I think I was warmer last time than I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when the breeze blows, it's really, really nice out here. Let's come out to Baumhowers and join us. At Jason Caldwell going to join us here in just a little bit, so he's going to jump on with us. And looking forward to having Jason with us. And, of course, Travis Wisdom will be on, attorney, a little bit later on, and talk to him about some of the things that we, discussed about Malcolm and what the youthful offender and kind of his experience with that and what that means and kind of where you're going to go from here. And then some NIL issues, obviously, that are going on in the world of college athletics, get his take on that as far as contractual things, maybe moving in that direction with college athletes, what all that would look like from an attorney standpoint if you start having these athletes sign contracts.
Remember when we thought that August 1st there was going to be a big turnover and a big roaring change of events?
I'm not sure.
But
We were all
August
convinced.
8th.
Yeah, we weren't.
Today's August 8th.
Okay, let's just be honest. What did you and I do when we heard that back in early July? What did you and I say off the air? Did we really think August 1 was going to do this major, everything's just going to come flowing now? And, I think somebody asked Coach Freeze that in the last press conference the other day. That he, right after practice, they said, well, what about this August 1st? And then he kind of gave some kind of ring around the rosy answer and said didn't know really, kind of like playing. Did he say it's kind of like playing poker or something? I don't know. I can't remember what he referenced it to. But the short answer to that is nothing's really happened.
Yeah. No, nothing has happened yet. So are we shocked at all?
No, not shocked at all.
I just think it's funny that we really thought there was going to be a big change in
Right.
of events, and lo and behold.
Tomorrow's a big day. Jace Matthews will commit somewhere. Hopefully Auburn needs a big spark in recruiting now that you brought it up. And Jace Matthews has been a guy that Auburn has stayed on relentlessly. Of course, Auburn has stayed on several guys relentlessly, and it hasn't come to fruition. But the two guys that we're watching, Jace Matthews and Braylon Womack, if Auburn were to land those two guys here in this month, really a big boost for them heading into the season. And then you looking at what, maybe 8 more guys you're going to try to sign in this class or get a commitment from, so you can be a little bit more selective. I think those two guys will vault Auburn up the rankings, maybe 30 spots possibly.
Oh, before it was 20. Now you think it's 30.
I think we could probably go up 30 just as high as Braylon Womack is ranked by everybody.
Okay.
So, and again,
And Braylon's, the 28th?
I think it's 28th.
Yeah.
He is the number one safety in the country. Ohio State wants him badly. Mike, I know we're battling through some streaming issues here. We're doing the best we can. It's out of our control. Let me just say that. There's some things in life you can control and some things you can't control. And the stream here at Baumhowers is out of our control. We told Tud, he knows it. So they're going to try to get that worked out at some point in time. I don't know when that'll be, but at some point in time. But yeah, we need to get those two guys committed, and looking forward to seeing how that plays out. But we'll watch Jace Matthews this weekend to see how that goes. And Auburn needs some momentum in recruiting. That's for sure. So, again, John said, when is the update coming about Malcolm Simmons? Maybe I misunderstood. Well, again, I gave you the only information we have, that they filed for youthful offender, and that the judge said they didn't know if that would be determined today or not. So I don't know if they're still discussing that and going to release that later.
Maybe in Travis will give us a better
Maybe how long that could go.
definition
Yeah.
of youthful offender and how long that might take. So really looking forward to hearing Travis and
Yeah.
getting on here to get a good update.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, glad to have Wisdom Law associated with our programming. It's always good to know a good attorney.
No kidding.
Just saying. So if you need legal work, Travis Wisdom is you need to contact. We appreciate him so very much, and glad that he'll be on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll be on with us some throughout the fall as
so.
we head down this NIL path. I mean, and all this stuff. I'm really interested to hear about the youthful offender thing, but I'm interested to hear his take on contracts and what that means, what that will look like for college sports, and because I know we're heading down that path. Let's just be honest about it. It's coming, and we know it's coming. So we'll kind of see how it all plays out. But we're going to go ahead and take another break here on the program. When we come back, we'll have Jason Caldwell with us, and Jason just arrived, so we'll get some takes from him, what he's seen a little bit at practice, and kind of his thoughts on maybe what we expect to hear out of the scrimmage coming up today. So everybody stay tuned. A lot more to come here on the Auburn Blitz right after this. What's up, brother? Perfect timing. Come on, slide over.
Hey,
She brought your box, didn't she?
yeah, because there's this flaw that keeps coming in.
There's a persistent fly over here. He won't quit.
You won't
Just one.
lose it for you alone. So I'm like,
We're going to slide together, so we'll get you a chair. Get up here and we'll push the screen back. You slide a little bit that way, buddy.
yeah.
Get the screen back a little bit. There we go. How about that?
Yeah, that's good.
It's amazing what you can do with technology.
Yeah, John, we
Yeah, I mean, you know, see, you jinxed us, John. It just went to black. So see if we can do this and maybe cut out the TV a little bit better. Yes, ma'am. Auburn.
sports.
Auburn football. Yeah, sports in general. Yes, yes, ma'am. War Eagle. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nathan was there.
Oh, yeah. Scott was there too. So he was kind of sending. Yeah, I do the best I can, John. Try to get that TV out of the way for you. I'm gonna have Travis Wisdom. It's pretty cut and dry. I mean,
That was, I think that's basically just to keep it from being.
right.
Didn't
Yeah,
have anything to do with it.
yeah, right.
Whether you think that was when you're doing that, if you're pleading guilty.
Oh, yeah.
you don't do that.
It's a little humid out here on the wind. There's Travis. What's up, man?
Hello.
How you doing, buddy? We're on streaming, but we're about to come back for TV. So you look nice
You dressed
today.
up for us.
Okay,
Oh.
here you go. Appreciate you coming, man. We look really, really underdressed compared to you, man.
Yeah.
Gonna liven the place up here. That's what attorneys do, right? Liven the place up.
It's a baby shirt.
I mean, there it is, man. People have to read it in reverse, though. They'll figure it out. All right, should be coming back for TV here in just a second. Kane will give me the cue and we'll be ready to roll. Oh, yesterday's practice was really good, man. I saw you and Nathan. That's what we talked about on our podcast. We did a little thing like y'all did right after practice, and y'all basically said the exact same thing we said. I mean, it's defensive line, man. Pretty good, dude. Impressed. That'd be the longest commercial break in the history of man.
It does feel a little bit longer.
Yep.
Are we halfway?
Here we go. Nope, not yet. The next one will be halfway through. All right, we got 25 seconds. Here we go. Well, it's 28-36. We got to consider halfway. Yeah, you're right. No, you are right. You're right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through our program, as I was corrected, like I am most of the time.
Well, I didn't know for sure.
No, but you were right. I don't know what I was thinking, but we are halfway through our program. Glad to have Jason Caldwell with us. Jason, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here in live and in person. I do get to see you a little bit more now than we used to, but in person.
Yeah, we're glad to be up there with you guys, and we do want to talk about Pepper Steaks and Wine, which is just literally right over the hill from where we are here at Baumhowers. And if you see Faye talk wine, you know how good their food is. I on it all the time. Great wine selection, great food. Excited. We're going to be announcing something with them here a little bit later on, so we'll keep that under wraps for now. But go check out Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine right here in Auburn or in Pepper Tree in Montgomery. Jason, you like Pepper Tree too, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff.
It is good stuff. Well, look, Jason, you and I and Faith were talking before we came back for TV. Really impressive practice yesterday. Maybe the best one so far.
Yeah, when you get to see a full day, you kind of get a little bit more of a taste. But even then, you try to caution folks that it's just one glimpse of the entire camp. And so we saw yesterday where the defense had the upper hand. And I talked to some folks who said that, look, the day before the offense had several big runs, did some things offensively. That's what you want. You want a back and forth. And we talked to a couple of folks who said, look, that's what it's supposed to be like. It's supposed to be a back and forth. You have a day, we have a day. What you don't want is one side dominating the whole time. And that hasn't been the case so far. And so I think it was a really good day. You see, though, the difficulty, especially when you're not, and that's the thing is hard to sometimes understand and maybe explain a little bit too. I don't do a good enough job of it, is that it's hard to explain and understand that this is not the season. So when you're on offense in camp and you're going in a red zone drill, you're not scheming against the defense. You're running the offense.
Right.
And so sometimes there's going to be, when you get into a season, you're going to scheme against the defense and you're going to go, hey, if that's not here, this is here, this is here. This is what we're doing. In camp, you're going, hey, let's execute this play. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you can see talent level. All those things are apparent. Can you make the few plays that you need to do to go from 5 to 8 or 9? That's what we'll see and we'll find out. But I think this is a better overall team than we've seen the last few years.
I was just about to say, going into this season, and we're getting closer and closer from the past years that you've covered. Where do you see this Auburn team in relation to the past ones, or especially the past 2 years with you?
No, yeah, it's not close. I don't think it's close to. 2019 is probably the closest thing, but I think this team is. I think this roster is more like 2017, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I think offensive line wise, the depth on the offensive line, to me, it feels more like 2017 than 2019. And Jared Stidham came in. You know, even that offensive line struggled a little bit early, and then you go, man, they kind of found their rhythm. But I think from a talent standpoint, to me, this is the best roster in 8 years.
I totally agree, and Faith and I talked about this, and I think you and Nathan did too yesterday. Jackson Arnold really looks like he's comfortable now. I mean, we can talk about all these quarterbacks, but obviously Hugh Freeze coming right out of spring, naming Jackson Arnold immediately, and I love that because it takes all the ambiguity out, kind of gets some consistency in the summer, building into fall. But I told Faith yesterday we were watching, I said, guy looks like he's in control now, looks like a guy that's been here for eight months, and it looks like he's got a good handle on the offense.
I think the key, and something that Freeze mentioned maybe last week, but to me the key is that this is the first time in a while where you don't have to try to do too much. You can just play. All right, hey, let's make the correct call, and it almost reminds me a little bit of watching Scotty Scheffler play golf, where you're going, you don't have to do anything spectacular. Just do what you're supposed to do. But in football, the difference is now you've got an Eric Singleton. We saw the pieces at times last year,
Right.
but it wasn't a complete package. And so because of that, I think everybody felt like we got to do more. I don't think this team has to do more. And so I think because of that, I think if you just make the correct decisions, to me, can you make the correct decisions? Can you stay healthy? Can you avoid the catastrophic mistake? And last year we saw catastrophic mistakes cost you probably 3 games.
Right.
So you do those things. You know, people will talk about red zone. They'll do those things. Yeah, you got to be better. Can you avoid catastrophic mistakes? And can you make the plays that are there? You do that, and this is a much.
No, I think in comparison to the past couple of years and just seeing the way that the offense has actually now, I feel, adapted in a sense with the quarterback, where now it's not so much of an outlier kind of issue, which I don't know if that's the right way to word it, but that's where it looks to be the mental connection between, and I've said that so much to you, especially that just in the past couple of weeks, you can actually see the progression and the growth between everybody. And, Deuce Knight looks like he's balling out there too.
Yeah, no, I think you got 3 quarterbacks you can win with.
Yeah.
Maybe different ways you can do it. And all 3 quarterbacks, I think something you touched on a little bit, alluded to, but this is year 2 in this system.
Right.
Year 1 was kind of a mixed bag, and Hugh Freeze trying to figure. I mean,
Had to go with what you had.
Well, every sport too, you're trying to figure out how does it work. How does this at times. You got to do these things. I think for Hugh Freeze, it was like, no, that's not the way this thing's going to have to work. I'm going to have to run my offense. So this is year 2 of this is it. This is what it is. I think that's a big deal. Just like it's year 2 of DJ Durkin, you can see even the newcomers, they pick up things faster because the other guys know it.
Right.
I think the same thing works on offense. I think it's the same thing. We're like, look, the guys around it know it. They can help you learn it as we're all moving along.
Right.
We've seen a lot of Auburn football teams, Jason. Is this the best secondary collectively as a group that you've ever seen at Auburn? Now, I know we've had some good ones. I mean, you can go back to Carlos Rogers and you can do all that. But to me, depth-wise, and Coach Freeze talked about that, I mean, we said Rayon Strader would start for most anybody else. He's the third guy. I mean, if you got a guy like that's your third guy, you're in pretty good shape.
I think from a number standpoint, if you're talking about 12, 14 guys in the secondary, I don't think there's been a team I can remember that matches up to that. Now, you look, I think back to 93, 94.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you think about groups going, there wasn't a ton of depth, but those think about
Chris Shelling.
think about those guys. You think about Calvin Jackson on the other side, Brian Robinson at safety. To me, that's almost. I mean, there's been some good ones. That's kind of my gold standard group of guys.
Sure.
But I think this one, from a number standpoint, where you're going, if something happens here, what do you do here? I mean, like you start getting down to Rayon Strader. You mentioned Rashawn Pleasant is a guy there. I think Blake Woodby and Donovan Starr are both pretty good. You could Champ Anthony's the guy that can go back to corner. I mean, you're like that's 7 guys, and then you look at the safety position. There's probably 8 or 9 guys back there. So that's probably the key for me. But Jay Crawford has probably been the best player in camp, in my opinion. I think he's been that good, physical. And I asked him yesterday when he walked off the field, like, are you going to let anybody catch a pass? He goes, nope, not going to. That's the attitude you got to have.
I love it. I mean, we've been talking about it. Those two elite groups going at each other during practice every day only makes them stronger. And when you get in a game, it's going to be like, okay, I see better in practice. That's how you know you got a good team. Well, Jason, we appreciate it, brother.
Yep.
Thank you for stopping
Absolutely.
by. I know we don't have any info on scrimmage yet. So
No, hopefully sometime this afternoon we'll be able to get a little bit. We knew this was going to be a closed off scrimmage
Yep.
type. This first one, usually, hey, put it behind closed doors, see what you can figure out, especially from a young guy standpoint. This is kind of that proving ground where you go, hey, can we depend on that guy now to move him forward? So a lot of that, but hopefully we'll get some information later this afternoon.
appreciate all you guys do it 24/7. Y'all do a great job.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this. All right, brother. Thank you,
Give
man.
him a haircut now.
Thank you, buddy.
That's what I was doing. I'm like,
There you go. Come on over, Travis. Okay, you going that room? Go. What's up, brother?
How are you?
Good, man.
Hey, how are
How are you, lady?
All right, good to see you.
Jason, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, man. Says you got to use the restrooms. Coming back.
It happens.
It happens. To get that out of the way.
What's your commercial break?
It's 4 minutes. We're up. I mean, people are watching right now. So it's Travis Wisdom, everybody. Glad to have Travis part of our program and going to give us legal advice throughout the season in regards to what goes on in college and some things. And actually, it's perfect timing, Travis, and we'll kind of go back through this some.
Just
on
remember,
TV.
you get what you pay for.
Well, I mean, you got a good reputation right here, and you're in a good place, man. You're right here by Baumhowers.
Really have
Can't go hungry.
No, really have enjoyed having Baumhowers here. Great place. Kevin's done a fantastic job turning this store around for
He really
the
has.
Baumhower family, and gives a lot to local law enforcement and local youth club sports, which is important.
Very important.
So we've been very appreciative to be a good neighbor to them.
Can't support our first responders enough. They're what
Absolutely.
makes our communities what they are, and it's a shame to look around sometimes and see how they get treated. And so, good to show that appreciation. Travis, when we come back for TV, obviously Malcolm Simmons been a big topic here in the last several weeks with his hearing coming up, and it actually was this morning. And his defense team filed for youthful offender, and we'll discuss that a little bit more. I want to get your take on really what that means and kind of what that process will be moving forward for him and for Auburn as they kind of just sit and wait this thing out, and then maybe talk a little bit about the NIL world. And I told Faith I'm interested to hear your take on where I think we're going in college athletics with contracts. I think it's inevitable that we're going down a path where everybody's going to have to sign a piece of paper.
I think that's probably correct. It's going to depend a lot on what Congress decides to do. If they want to stay out of it, I think you're correct. If they want to jump back in it and exempt the NCAA from antitrust laws, it's going to go a completely different direction.
I'm interested to hear your take on that because, again, I think we're probably further away from a decision now than we've ever been on anything. I mean,
yeah, and there's still a lot of new rules after the House settlement that'll have to be followed and implemented, and that will lead to more questions. There'll be more individual instances that don't necessarily fit within those rules.
right.
And that'll cause the need for even more change.
John,
We're in a state of perpetual evolvement. Right?
Yes, for sure. John said, which SEC teams did Liberty beat while Coach Freeze was there? Arkansas, yeah. I'm not sure that there was any more that he beat. Kind of looked that up. Had a good record there at Liberty. Waiting to see if that translates to Auburn. Everybody's kind of hoping that that's going to be the case this year.
This would be the year to do it.
Yet, no doubt about it, the schedule and things kind of really playing the way out. About jumped out of your skin over there. We'll be back for TV in just a minute, but again, I'm glad to have our good friend Travis Wisdom with Wisdom Attorney at Law. And again, If you need legal advice and if you need an attorney, Travis is one to call. Again, dealing with a lot of real estate, a lot of closings up in the Lake Martin area, Travis.
We got an office in Dadeville, right outside the entrance to Stillwaters. Of course, I have a firm here in Auburn, next to Baumhowers. I work out of both. It just depends on what I got going in each office. But we've really enjoyed the Lake Martin experience. A lot of great realtors up there, a lot of great realty companies, and a lot of great real estate. And what we're seeing is more and more people from out of state are discovering the magic of Lake Martin.
They are. I mean, I told somebody one time, be careful what you ask for. You might just get it. Now everybody's found out about it, and Lake Martin's become a destination. But that's great. It's a good thing for sure. So, all right, we got about 15 seconds. We'll be back for TV and dive right into this thing. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here, live on location at Baumhowers. Our program brought to you by Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and
Sense of Green, for air that's cool and clean, call on Sense of Green.
Like the highlight of the show for her to talk about something.
I can see why.
Her smile brightens up. Travis Wisdom, everybody. Glad to have Travis with us, part of our program, a big-time partner here with us on the Auburn Blitz. If you need an attorney in the Auburn or the Lake Martin area or wherever, Travis will come to the rescue, right?
That's correct. So we're happy to help with a wide range of legal needs. We do a lot of real estate, general litigation, business contracts, civil disputes, whatever you may need.
We're glad to have you here, Travis, and a lot of things legally going on in the world of sports, namely Malcolm Simmons had a hearing today. It was supposed to be on the 13th. It got bumped up to the 8th, which is today. Talk about that. His defense team applied for youthful offenders. So kind of just tell everybody what that means.
So Malcolm is charged with domestic assault with strangulation. That's a Class B felony in the state of Alabama. That can be punished up from 2 years to 20 years in prison, no more than a $30,000 fine. So it's a serious offense, serious charge. When a violator is under the age of 21 in the state of Alabama, he can apply for what's known as a youthful offender status. The court has to approve this, and to do that, they simply confirm, of course, that he's meeting the age requirement. In this case, Malcolm is 20. Then they're going to look back at Malcolm's previous criminal history. If he has prior offenses, the court has the right to deny him this status. Malcolm will have to agree to waive his rights to a jury trial. He'll have to meet with a probation officer that will do a little bit of a deep dive into the facts and circumstances surrounding the alleged criminal violation and any background factors that may have contributed to that. And then the probation officer essentially gives a recommendation to the court and the judge as to whether they believe the youthful offender should be applied in this case, and if it will lead to a proper rehabilitation of the accused. So the legislature enacted this youthful offender status to give young people a second chance that may, violate the provisions of the criminal law.
Travis, nothing has been determined yet. According to the last things we heard, how long can it take for a judge to determine if they're going to grant that or not?
It can be, it could be up to a month. I would say. I think you'll hear quicker in this case. The other benefit of the youthful offender status for Malcolm in this case is once the judge does grant that, all the records will be sealed. So the testimony in the case, the witnesses in the case, all their identities will be protected. The facts and circumstances will be protected from public view. Probably a reason the university, in conjunction with Malcolm's lawyers, made this move. It'll sort of keep things tight-lipped. So that can be a benefit to a young person as well. The records are ultimately sealed. It doesn't mean that the state can't reopen them if he's ever charged with another criminal violation in the state of Alabama. but it does mean that the facts, circumstances, the rulings can be sealed from public view. And when it comes to a collegiate athlete, that's going to be important because the media, as you know, not you guys, but the other media would love to, print as much as they can about the facts and circumstances in a case like this. And then the final thing youthful offender does is, I mentioned earlier, as a Class B felony, it does carry a sentence of 2 to 20 years. If you get the youthful offender status, the maximum sentencing drops to 3, and it can be less. So Malcolm could end up with paying a fine, doing community service, serving several months of probation. The judge could grant him youthful offender status and still sentence him to 3 years in prison. So it's really
Still serious.
very serious. Domestic assault is no laughing matter in this state. The legislature has made clear they want these violators prosecuted. But there could be plenty of facts and circumstances in this case we don't know, that could exonerate Malcolm or maybe explain some of the occurrences a little bit better.
So let me ask a question. A lot of people were wondering why Auburn was not releasing a statement basically immediately after everything happened, or addressing the fact that maybe he's going to miss practice, maybe he's not going to be there. What is the legal reasons, I guess, behind? Because Hugh told us that that they received from Auburn administration that he was able to practice and left it at that. Is there anything?
The first thing I advise my clients to do with regard to the media and really members of the public is shut up. Until all the facts, until all the circumstances are known, you don't want to jump out there and make comments about the way you think it's going to go too quickly. I'm sure that Malcolm's legal team, who I know, are telling the university, let us handle the law. If you need to discipline Malcolm internally as part of Auburn athletics, you can do so, but keep that inside the walls of the Auburn athletic department. We'll handle the legal process outside the walls of the Auburn athletic department. Witnesses pop up late. Certain witnesses can be found to have lied to the police in the initial reports. There's just too much I've seen over 25 years of law practice where anybody outside of the lead attorney needs to be making broad brush statements about what's going to happen in any particular case. So
That's good information, because again, everybody doesn't need to know everything and shouldn't know everything about what's going on. We're going to go ahead and take a break. Our last break, we can get Travis to hang with us again. We've still got some stuff we want to talk to him about, but everybody stay tuned. One final segment coming up right after this. Why can't Malcolm's case go for mutual combat if she attacked him and he attacked back, if this is the truth?
There's not really a defense labeled in Alabama mutual combat. However, extenuating circumstances, self-defense is what we would call that. If she attacked him, he had reason to fear for his safety or feel threatened, and this was retaliation, then that's a mitigating circumstance. The judge, the court will certainly consider that. His lawyers will certainly put that forward if that's in fact the case. And I think one thing, people forget about a lot of times is Malcolm has a side of the story too. It's very frustrating for my clients, for criminal clients, to follow the instruction of the attorney, which is keep your mouth shut until we're ready, because you want to tell your side.
Right.
But there's a time and place to do that. Unfortunately, it's just not in the media, it's in the courtroom.
Right.
And I tell my clients that all the time, and they can't stand it because the other side is out there saying their set of the facts.
Right.
And you just don't want your client to say something by accident that's incriminating, something that would deter a witness from coming forward. There's just too many factors. And so I understand their grief over it, but it's a common instruction with attorneys, which is you're going to have your day in court.
Yes.
Prime example would be the Diddy case. You didn't hear Diddy talk about a lot of this stuff before it went to trial. I'm sure that was frustrating. The media was burying him with stories of witnesses that saw this or heard this, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
He goes into court. They present his case to the only group that really matters, which is the jury. He walks out of there free man.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why you go to trial on that kind of stuff. You don't get convicted. Well, the public will convict you out here before you do go to trial.
Well, that's what I was saying. Everybody thinks that they're lawyers or thinks that they know everything, and that's why they wanted an answer from Auburn immediately. And
we see it on social media all the time with stuff that you and I do. People comment and say, well, that's not the way it is. I'm like, okay. We were at practice yesterday. Had somebody comment this morning and said, well, that was not the right defensive back. I said, well, yeah, it was, because the video you saw was during the film period. The play I'm referring to came in the non-film period, so nobody saw it. So there's always going to be people take a shot, think they know more than you.
It's always something.
That's right.
It's always something.
So Malcolm's case, he'll be able to put on his defense, and that'll be probably very rejuvenating for him. I'm sure he's got a lot to say.
I'm sure he does. Question about Jace Matthews today committing will be at 6:00 Central Time. So between Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M, according to Rivals, the number 2 receiver in the country. So we'll see how that goes. Auburn needs a boost in recruiting for sure, and we'll see how that plays out. Auburn's dad said, yep, on my message board to see so many convicting Malcolm before all the facts in case even go hurt. And like Faith said, so many people out there, I can't believe Auburn hadn't said anything. Like, what are they going to say? I mean, what can they say?
There's not much they can say. I'm sure they're in communication with Malcolm's legal team. But again, even and I have represented Auburn athletes before, and the coaches call me. None of the coaches are here anymore, but they've called me, and there's very delicate pieces of information that I can give them, and then there's flat out things I can't tell them. They're not my client. I have privilege with my client.
Sure.
And I understand the relationship. They're the coach. They want to know what's it mean, but rules are rules, and attorneys have to follow the ethical guidelines of the state bar, first and foremost, and protect your client.
Right.
A lot of coaches want information from attorneys because they want to go ahead and plan what they're going to do to the athlete. My job is to protect my client.
That's right.
I'm not interested in helping the coach do his job. He gets plenty of money to do his job. So.
Has to deal with it the way it is. Yep. All right, we got about 30 seconds. We'll be back for the TV side, and just got a few minutes here before we have to end the program. I do want to ask Travis about the NIL side of things real quick before we get off. But Travis, that's outstanding information. I know we got a lot of people watching right now and commenting, and I know they appreciate the insight that you're able to give. So, all right, welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment here on the show. We've got Travis Wisdom, attorney at law, here with us, part of our program, and glad that he's a partner with us here on the Auburn Blitz. And it was a great day to have Travis on with Malcolm's hearing. And again, if you're just tuning this in, you can come back and watch the replay of it and kind of hear what Travis talked about as far as the legal side for both parties involved and everything. So really, really good information, Travis. We appreciate that. On the NIL side, thank God we ain't got much time left in the show because we're sick and tired of talking about it. But I think you deal with contracts, obviously, as an attorney. We see this going down this path sooner than later, I think, with the way college athletics, especially college football is. What's your take? What's that look like when we start having athletes sign contracts at that point?
It's going to be just almost identical to professional sports. The House settlement that everybody's heard about, it basically changed three things. It said, obviously, number one, the universities can now share their own revenue up to a cap. And they don't. So that's interesting. But $20.5 million this year. There'll be 4% kick-ups every year after that, and that's a true revenue share where the university takes money that they're getting from their media rights or ticket sales and can disperse it how they see fit to the sports or to the athletes. The second is the House settlement really reined in what I call booster involvement, or the collectives. They've basically put hard and fast rules on those groups. Now, if you have a collective in Texas or a collective at Auburn or Alabama or Georgia, they can only provide contract deals for the athletes if they are for a specific business purpose. And then that business purpose not only has to be announced, the compensation has to comply with fair market value rules. So the NCAA has hired third-party accounting firm Deloitte. Deloitte is going to review any contract over $600 for any athlete in the United States, and they will decide if the services being rendered meet with the fair market value. And then the third and final thing is athletes are given free rein to contract directly with third-party consumer groups. So athletic apparel groups, sports drinks, video games.
That's what NIL was designed to do.
Right.
That part
That's
right there.
So the boosters and the collectives are now under control, possibly. And Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, they can contract directly with an athlete if they want. Those companies are not under any obligation to comply with fair market value rules. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But that'll fall into more of a straight professional athlete endorsement deal.
I mean, what a change college sports have taken in the past 10 years.
Yeah, I'm not so sure for the better.
I don't think it is. I haven't met anybody that likes the new structure. I mean, obviously the athletes like it because they're benefiting, and I don't blame them. If I were in their shoes, I'd get all I could get too. But
I have a different take. I think the name, image, and likeness value is created not by the athlete, but when the university gives the athlete their jersey to wear.
I agree with that.
All these guys are great in high school. I have total respect for what they've accomplished in their first 17 years. But Nike's not interested in them until they put on Auburn's jersey or Georgia's jersey, or And so they've kind of got it reversed. They make it appear that as though the athlete is bringing the notoriety to the university. Right. And I don't see that.
I've got one more point. We got to get out for TV. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Thanks, Travis, for being with us. Really, really appreciate him. I'm going to have him on again very soon, maybe at the end of all the Malcolm stuff. You can come back and kind of catch us up. But again, appreciate everybody. We'll be back with you next week for more of the Auburn Blitz. Have a great weekend. We're still up for social media. So, but I think you're right. Just to kind of add on your point, I said this to you months ago. Okay, the athlete, yes, you need to have some compensation, but okay, let's just say, you become pro and the football program splits from the university. Yeah. They got to rent the stadium. They got to do all this stuff. I mean, now you've got a situation where if you took all of that away, where are they going to play the game?
Exactly.
Where's that kid going to go play football?
Exactly. And they're also giving these kids an escape from consequence of their actions through the portal. It used to be when I played football when years ago.
Your dad coached.
My dad coached. The consequences of dealing with your coach or your coach's discipline had to be accepted. And now it's, I don't like what you're doing, so I'm just going to hit the portal. And bye-bye.
She said it this morning.
That's not a good lesson. That's not the purpose of collegiate athletics. That's not what we should be teaching these kids. You just hop in this portal and it whisks you away.
Well, at this point, that's the way of the world, isn't it?
It is. Well, back to Malcolm briefly. There's no portal out of what he's facing.
Right. He's got to face it.
Yeah. The only transferring that goes on in real life when you run afoul of the rules is you might transfer from Pelican Bay to Atlanta Fed. Right. But that's right. That's it. There's no, hey, I want to go to Oregon and play and not have to do 100 push-ups every morning. So.
We have set a different standard in this country with allowing kids to just pick up their stuff and move, like you said, and like Faith said.
You get paid for it.
Well, that's right. But then that's not the real world. When they get done with sports, they're going to be things that they have to face, like you said, in real life. And I've talked to many coaches, and some old school coaches and some in the present. And they said, look, I hate this because when these kids leave our building, our facility, they're on their own, and we've given them a false sense of what reality is.
I agree with that. I think we're going to have to give them financial education as well, because I like to think I'm a fairly intelligent guy, but at 17 I was not. And if you gave me $500 when I was 17, I probably went out and spent it on CDs or a stereo. I can't imagine what I'd do with $1 million. And I can tell you, I've had real estate agents around the state tell me that they have been trying to show certain properties for sale, and they can't get into them to show their clients because certain collegiate athletes at Alabama and Auburn have rented them out for the weekend just for parties. And you hear those kinds of stories and you're thinking, what kind of money? And nobody's teaching them. You should be taking all of this money and investing it and saving it and letting it grow interest, right. And have a little fun, but and that's the problem in the NFL. So.
Yeah, that's what we've tried to say. Like, you see so many I don't want to say failures of when an athlete might not be able to make it to the NFL, or they get hurt or something like that, God forbid, that they blew all their money. And guess what? You didn't get a real degree that you cared about at a university, or you left and went to 4 different schools and you did a little bit of something at each one, but you didn't leave with anything for real. And now what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, and that going on with her point, I had somebody actually tell me at another school, this kid had bounced 3 times to different schools, and he's out now, not playing professional sports. What alumni base claims him? Where are you going to go back? A lot of former athletes go back to the school, and alumni go, hey, he played here, want to help him out of it. If you've been 3 or 4 places, everybody's like, well, you weren't here but 9 months. I don't have any association with you.
Yeah, and they're focused on the future too. The alumni group is like, hey, all the money we've got to spend, we're spending on the new class. You're kind of forgotten. So they need to take advantage. Their families need to be taught financial, educational, institutional lessons. They need to have attorney representation, at least for simple estate planning, and how to protect the money from future creditors down the road. I would urge all of them to contact an attorney to do that. It's a simple process, and it's what I always say, it's a little bit of money now to save a lot of money later.
Right.
And this may be their one shot in life of having money like this. They may not have another opportunity when this part of their life passes by. So
hopefully it's not, but if it is, and they do things the right way and they line it up with trusts and other LLC documents and wills and get everything in line, they're in a much better place than they could be. So.
Everybody, Travis Wisdom, and he just left court too, so to come be with us. So we appreciate what he does for our program, and all the things that he does with us here on the Auburn Blitz. A great partner again that we're associated with. So if you need an attorney, Travis is the guy to call. Again, if you're looking at real estate in the Lake Martin area, has an office up there. Last time I was up there, Travis, y'all were booming. Y'all had people everywhere and documents flying.
Been very busy, and of course this is the busy time of the year. Probably getting a little bit into a slowdown as the summer comes to an end, but there's still 2.5, 3 months before the power company drops the lake and the season's over. But things are moving at Lake Martin, that's for sure.
Absolutely. A couple of people on there said thank you to you for your information today.
You're very much welcome. So
Travis Wisdom, everybody, we'll have him back again soon, hopefully, to kind of catch us up on some things from the legal aspect here in the world of college and all. So that's going to wrap us up here at Baumhowers. Again, appreciate again with you on location. Camera's still rolling. At Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 49, right down from your office. So
great place.
Might see Travis there too. So if we can convince him to come grab some lunch with us. But we hope everybody
has the best day ever, best weekend ever.
Absolutely. And a big old